What's up, everybody, and welcome to NFL Nexus. We are diving headfirst into one of the most critical decisions facing any team this offseason, the Las Vegas Raiders' hunt for a new head coach. Now look, this isn't just about finding a guy to coach for one season. Oh no, this is a move that is going to define the entire franchise for years to come. So today, we are going to break down the two very different paths they could take. Before we get into it, you know the drill. If you love this kind of deep dive analysis, do us a huge favor and hit that subscribe button, and definitely let us know in the comments, who do you think they should hire?
You know, the Raiders are basically standing at a fork in the road. They're staring at two completely different doors, and behind each door is a totally different future for the franchise. Door number one, it's a high-risk, high-reward gamble on a rookie coach, a guy who everyone thinks is the next big thing, a true leader of men. And door number two, well, that's the proven offensive mastermind, the guru who has a system that's known to work, especially when it comes to making quarterbacks great. This decision, it really goes so much deeper than just one guy. It's about forging a whole new identity for the team. So let's break it all down.
All right, let's get into the thick of it. To really, and I mean really, understand the weight of this decision, you have to look at the Raiders' recent history. This isn't just some routine coaching change. For the Raiders, this is about trying to find an anchor in a sea of chaos, a period of constant disruption that has just completely crippled their ability to build a consistent winner. Okay, get this. The next person the Raiders hire will be their fourth head coach in just 4 seasons. Let that sink in for a minute. 4 coaches in 4 years. Can you even imagine being a player in that locker room? Every single year, you've got a new boss, a whole new playbook to learn, a new scheme, a completely different culture. If you're a young guy trying to develop, good luck. There's zero consistency. It's almost impossible to build any kind of identity, any kind of foundation. So this hire, it isn't just about finding a good coach for next season. It's about finally stopping the bleeding and breaking this destructive cycle.
And, you know, this revolving door of coaches, it's really just a symptom of a much bigger issue. It's all connected to this larger pattern of struggles. We're talking about years of disappointing draft picks who never panned out, big money free agent signings that were total busts, and season after season that just ended in frustration. So all of that, it puts an immense, almost unbearable amount of pressure on this one off season. The Raiders front office simply cannot afford to get this wrong. They need a leader who can bring more than just a new playbook. They need someone who can pour a whole new foundation of stability in Las Vegas.
So let's talk about path number 1. This is the high-risk, high-reward play. It's a bet on pure, unadulterated potential. It's the kind of gamble you take on a coach who might not have the long resume, but has all those intangible qualities that you just can't teach. And that path leads us straight to one of the most intriguing names in this entire coaching cycle, Davis Webb.
So for those of you thinking, who is Davis Webb? Don't worry, you're not alone. He's a very fresh face on the scene. Right now, he's an assistant coach with the Denver Broncos, and it wasn't that long ago that he was an NFL quarterback himself. He is extremely new to the coaching world, but man, the buzz surrounding him is legit. It's not just about his football smarts, people are talking about his leadership. He's got this incredible knack for connecting with today's players and commanding a room. He's the kind of candidate where you're not hiring the resume, you're hiring the man and what you believe he can become.
And this quote right here from Albert Breer, it just perfectly captures the whole dilemma with Webb. On the one hand, he's incredibly well thought of. In league circles, that's code for this guy's brilliant, he's a hard worker, and he has everyone's respect. That's the stuff that gets you excited. But then, Breer points out the massive elephant in the room. He hasn't coached for very long is the problem. And boom, there it is. That's the gamble in a nutshell. Are you willing to bet on this guy's tantalizing potential, or is that lack of experience just too big of a risk for a team that desperately needs a sure thing?
So with such a thin resume, what is it that makes Webb so appealing? Well, there are a couple of huge things. First, he's a recently retired player. That gives him immediate credibility in a locker room. He gets what these guys are going through because he was literally just one of them. The second point, this relationship with Tom Brady. It is way more important than it sounds. It's not just name dropping. A connection like that implies a stamp of approval from the greatest football mind of all time. It suggests you have access to a network, and more importantly, a philosophy of winning that is second to none.
Okay, so that raises a huge question. If you go ahead and hire a first-time head coach with almost no experience, how do you make sure the whole thing doesn't just implode? Well, the strategy isn't really about Webb alone. The real plan would be to surround him with a powerhouse, veteran coaching staff, basically a team of all-stars who can handle the heavy lifting on play calling and scheme, which frees up Webb to focus on being the leader.
Breer's logic here lays out a pretty common and often successful team-building model. It's like this. You hire the young, high-potential guy to be the CEO of the team. His job is to set the culture, manage the egos, be the leader of men. But you give him a safety net. You bring in a super experienced offensive coordinator to be his right-hand man, to run that side of the ball and mentor the quarterback. It takes all that intense schematic pressure off the rookie head coach and lets him grow into the role.
And this is where that Tom Brady connection goes from being a nice little tidbit to a full-blown strategic asset. The thinking is that Webb could leverage that network to build his dream staff. Breer suggests the plan would be to bring in coordinators who are also connected to Brady's world, creating this brain trust that's basically rooted in a culture of winning. And two of the biggest names being floated for his potential offensive coordinator, Brian Daboll and Cliff Kingsbury.
And these two guys, they're both fantastic, but very different options. With Brian Daboll, you have a direct history. He coached Webb in both New York and Buffalo, so there's a built-in familiarity there. Plus, just look at what he did turning Josh Allen into a superstar. The guy's a proven quarterback developer. Then you've got Cliff Kingsbury, who's known for his innovative air raid offense and is also known to be tight with Brady. So either way you go, you'd be giving Webb a top-tier offensive architect to lean on from day one. That's a heck of a support system.
But what if the Webb model, building a staff around a leader, isn't what the Raiders want? What if they want to go with a completely different philosophy and just hire the proven offensive system itself? Well, this brings us to their other top candidate, a guy who's already completed a second interview with the team, Joe Brady.
Now, in the world of NFL coaching searches, a second interview is a massive signal. The first round is like casting a wide net, getting to know a big pool of candidates. But when you get called back for that second meeting, that's when things get real. That means you've been elevated from just another possibility to a genuine finalist. So the fact that Joe Brady is getting that second look tells you everything you need to know. He is a very serious contender for this job.
And Adam Schefter's reporting really shows you how people talk about Joe Brady around the NFL. They're not just calling him a good coach. The words being thrown around are elite and a magnificent offensive mind. Hiring him would be a true splash hire. It's the kind of move that energizes the entire fan base and sends a message to the rest of the league that the Raiders are dead serious about building a modern, high-powered offense.
And his resume, wow, it absolutely backs up that reputation. You just have to say two words, 2019 LSU. He was the architect of that historic national championship offense, the one led by Joe Burrow that was just unstoppable. It was arguably the single greatest season by a college quarterback ever. Then he comes to the NFL and works with another elite talent in Buffalo's Josh Allen. You see the pattern here, right? His entire career is defined by making great quarterbacks even greater.
So the logic behind hiring a guy like Joe Brady is all about the quarterback. It's as simple as that. If the Raiders' plan is to draft and develop a young QB, then bringing in a head coach who's famous for his offensive system and his skill in developing that exact position, it's a perfect match. The belief is that Brady isn't just a coach who calls plays. He's an architect who can build an entire system around a talented prospect and turn him into a franchise-altering star.
So when you lay it all out like this, you can see this isn't just a choice between two different guys. It's a fundamental choice between two distinct, totally opposing philosophies on how you build a team. The direction the Raiders choose right here is going to define their approach to everything: drafting, free agency, strategy, for years to come.
Looking at them side by side like this, the contrast is just crystal clear. With Davis Webb, the Raiders would be betting on a person. They'd be investing in his leadership, his upside, his potential, and they'd build a whole support system around him. With Joe Brady, they'd be betting on a process. They'd be hiring a proven offensive system and a brilliant mind that is known for one thing: developing quarterbacks. It really is the ultimate organizational question. Do you hire the CEO or do you hire the chief architect? After so many years of turmoil and turnover, the Raiders front office really has to look in the mirror and decide what they value most right now. Is the biggest need a culture-setting leader who can finally bring some stability to the whole organization, even if he needs some help with the playbook? Or is the top priority an offensive visionary who can pretty much guarantee you'll have a cutting-edge system designed to turn a young quarterback into a superstar?
Ultimately, the entire future of the Silver and Black comes down to that one question. Are you betting on the man or are you betting on the plan? The path they choose is going to have massive ripple effects for this franchise for a long time. Thanks for watching this deep dive on NFL Nexus. We really want to know what you think, so drop a comment below. Are you on Team Webb or Team Brady? And hey, don't forget to subscribe. If you are looking for another great way to support the channel, check out our coloring books. They're perfect for children, grandchildren, and yeah, even adults. You can find the link right in the description. We'll see you next time.